Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. It's Friday, it's the weekend. Short day at work today. Wasn't supposed to be, but it turned out to be. So I was able to come home, get started. How's everybody doing?
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh, you shut up.
Friday, everybody.
We don't need the double up. We don't need the double up. All right, so we got 32 people watching right now. We only have 2 likes on this stream so far. Come on, help me out here. Costs you nothing, helps me out huge. If we had all 32 people hit that like button right now, the stream would get pushed out to even more people. For me. That's for me. Anyways, I saw something really cool happening in chat. Let's get started here. So Wicked Sun came up with, well, this isn't a new concept. So let me tell you, I came up with this a long time ago. Wicked Sun says, I need a custom plugin. You get 3 lives, and when you run out, you can't play it until the next wipe. And that is exactly what I wanted to do like 2-3 years ago, but I only wanted 1 life. You only get 1 life. As soon as you die, you can't rejoin that server until the next wipe. Now, obviously, you probably wouldn't want to do that on a full month-long wipe server. You'd never get any population. If it were a weekly server or even every 3 days, then you would probably do a hell of a lot better. But the concept is awesome, and I'm surprised that nobody has come up with it yet. And Amino did say it's an extremely simple concept. It should only take a developer maybe an hour of time. Yeah, exactly. It should be a really simple concept because really all you have to do is create a plugin that as soon as it sees on death, it bans that player from the server. It's just that simple. And you're also right in that what constitutes a death. So do we want deaths from NPCs or other AI on the server, or just PvP deaths? Or do you include fall deaths or starving or freezing? It's all of these different types of deaths that would have to be configurable. Otherwise, the plugin would be a flop. All right, so that brought us up to 14 likes out of 36 viewers, so that definitely helped, so I appreciate that. Thank you to everybody that has liked the video so far. Raven, what's happening? Hoping the plugin I'm developing won't break. Guess what? It's gonna. No, I shouldn't say that. It's not even really fair to say that most plugins are gonna break because honestly, not many will. In fact, I think BMGJet even said exactly that. Old Bitches Gaming, welcome. Mr. G, not so mama. I threw you big props on my last live stream, man. So I think this is the first time I've seen you on a live. Welcome. Yes, every custom map is going to break during the next forced wipe. And I'm here for it. Because I'm stupid excited about the changes that are coming in on the procedural generation that we'll be using going forward. Sorry, I'm just getting caught back up. Yeah, Mr. Blue, exactly. Most plugins should be fine. Maps, on the other hand, that's a completely different story. Rusty and Chill. I'm assuming you're talking about that plugin idea. At Old made a patch for aux2 and staging, so seeing everything that's changed, I checked my own plugins. Okay. Speaking of that, we will be logging into that server that I was on with BMGJet on the last live stream, because I've got some bad news. Bad news. So we'll get to that here in a couple of minutes. Looking for a plugin like a war deck system. I don't know what that means. Liberty Rust, how's it going? Working on adding a bunch of options to Rust maps now, though. Okay. I've been hearing rumblings about what's going on at Rust maps, and I'm excited to hear that directly from you, actually. Yeah, I don't know that I would want to see like AI kills creating the ban, but I guess it would depend on how extreme you want to make it. So let's get started because I want to get the bad news out of the way right away. Today is an unscripted stream. I don't really have a plan as such because I like whiffing it. Old guy. Okay, so we've got old guy gaming and we've got old bitches gaming. Any chance y'all know each other? Anyways, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. Liberty Rust says, first time I've had a chance to say thank you on stream 2 years ago. I started my servers and now it's the biggest servers in Ukraine. 400 online and 800 online at a high point. That is fantastic success. Good for you, man. Or woman, I guess. Is there an easier way to host a server than installing CMD and port forwarding? Yes, absolutely. I have an extra PC just chilling in my living room, but it's not much work. Oh, but it's so much work. Well, first of all, it's not so much work. It's not that much work at all. I have 4 or 5 videos that would have it done for you in a matter of minutes. But yeah, going to a hosting server is absolutely the way to go. A hosted server, I should say. Sorry. My recommendation is obviously icehost.com. You can use promo code srtbull and save yourself a couple of bucks each month. For 3 months, I should say. No kidding, you guys don't know each other. Hey, that's crazy. Yeah, we've got old bitches gaming and old guys gaming. Old guy gaming. Yeah, Mr. G, that's Not So Mama. If anyone knows Not So Mama from his community and my community. Yeah, Mr. Blue, I did mean to, but I assumed that heading into kind of everything that's going on right now with, I mean, you've got Oxide changing coming up. You've got the ProcGen stuff. I knew you were busy is the long and the short of it. Yeah, so I'm pretty disappointed actually. I was gonna grab a screenshot of my last stream so that I could show you exactly what I was talking about for those of you that weren't here for that live, because this is gonna be crushing. This is crushing. We were all so excited. Everyone on stream, including myself, was so excited about the change that we saw, that BMGJet and I saw on that map. And now I've got some bad news about it. Yelnats, welcome. How's it going, man? What's the best tick rate for 150 max pop? Tick rate. Why would you be concerned about that? It really comes down to what aspect of the game do you want to change and how quickly do you want it to change. So like decay uses tick rate. I mean, there's thousands of things that use tick rate, but I'm just wondering why you would worry about it. Meaning default tick rate for just about everything is good. Just got back from the UK yesterday. Lots of catching up to do. Absolutely. I do actually, Nick. That's a great question. So Nick is asking, do you have a video about how to set up multiple servers on the same box? And I do have exactly that video. What's changed? Well, Oxide is just going through its regular monthly updates. So when Facepunch pushes out a new update, Oxide has to change everything that goes along with it. So I misspoke there when I said, I was just indicating that Mr. Blue will have a lot on his plate is all I was saying. I'm not saying that Oxide is going through some monumental shift or anything like that. Although maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't talked to Blue about it in quite some time, actually. I think Mr. G meant Iced Host is the best. Been with them for 3 years. I've been with Iced Host, I don't even know, 4 or 5 years. They are one of my sponsors, so we've been teamed together for that long, however long it's been. And yeah, it's been good. I've had no issues. I've had really small issues over the years, but they take care of it just like that. By the way, about hostings, I've had a lot of problems when I used VPS. Now I have 2 dedicated servers for 2 different projects on Ubuntu and 0 problems. Cool. Oh, network tick rate. Okay. Yeah, leave it default. I mean, unless you're running, yeah, exactly what BMG said. Unless you're running into specific problems, just leave it at default. It's fine. What's your opinion of custom monuments on servers? Well, I have a fairly negative view on custom maps. Just as a general rule, I don't love custom maps. Which, when you're using custom monuments, you're creating custom maps. However, that being said, I have seen some crazy creations. And actually, there's one coming out of the Rust Admin Academy community. Well, there's several actually. Hopefully, very, very soon. I don't know if I want to give it away because it's such a cool concept. I'm gonna wait, but it's a cool concept. You guys are gonna like it. What's the best way to advertise your players and get more? Advertise your server and get more players. Okay, so that's very important. That's a great question. So thank you for bringing that up. The best way to get more players on your server is to build your community. So start with your Discord, start with your server, your website, and just start building that community. It's going to be small. It's going to be slow, but it's a grind. It is. You have to start with that core 5 players, and hopefully that will turn into 10 players, and then you just, you keep building and building on that. Where you start seeing, when you hear about these people that they blew up, they just all of a sudden they were popular one day. They came up with something. They filled a niche that wasn't being met. So looking for that creative edge in your server creation. So what can you do on your server that nobody else is doing? And it has to be something that people are looking for. So like this concept that we're talking about might be kind of cool. I don't know that it's going to drive a whole bunch of players to a server that if they died 1 or 3 times, they could no longer join that server for the rest of the wipe. But I don't know, like maybe that is a concept that the community is looking for. It's a little bit more extreme, and maybe you would get a bunch of more skilled players. Of course, that also brings you know who. Sorry to bring up a similar question, but can I still port forward if I don't have access to my router? My internet comes from a box in the wall. No, unless you have logins. You have to be able to log into your router so that you can write those rules. I found that my players want procedural maps. Exactly. That's my thing too. Like I've tried custom maps before and my players don't love them. Making custom maps is super fun. I do enjoy that, but I don't like playing on them. So kind of defeats the purpose actually. Have a similar plugin, but it's based on when your TC is destroyed, you're kicked until wipe. So that's kind of close. That's kind of close, actually. Abor says, I don't like custom maps, but I use slight custom monuments, like 10% custom monuments and then 90% vanilla. That's fine. If that works for your community, like power to you. I don't like, I guess I don't like the time investment that would be involved with that, because like this polar shift that we're coming up to for this next forced wipe is going to break all custom maps. So I just don't like, and I would definitely never want to wait for a custom map to be fixed so that it works on the current release of the game. And that's what ends up happening. Old Bitches Gaming says, I advertised on Rust Academy. How did that go for you? That's a fair point. I don't know what I've never had any experience with that. Mr. G, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. Thank you. Ping and pop get players. Absolutely. You have to have low ping and high pop. It's very rare that you're going to find somebody that's going to come and join as a server that has 0 players on it. I think people pay off certain YouTubers to flood their servers. That does happen. Absolutely, that happens. What do you think about Magic Rust? Biggest private Rust project expansion on EU players. Do you think they will succeed? I can't speak to that because I don't know anything about it. Yeah, Mr. Blue, custom proc gens, exactly, right? What's the best time for daily restarts? Well, that's a tough question. I do agree that daily restarts should be a thing. And so I would take your time zone, like where you are, you physically, or at least where your server is located, because your server might be located in a time zone that you're not physically in, but it's going to be close, like within 4 hours either way, and do it very early morning, like 4 a.m. because that's going to have the least amount of impact on the players that you actually care about. So if you have a North American server, you really only care about North American players. Sure, EU players can join your server. But if a restart happens right when they're in the middle of something in the EU because it's daytime for them, who cares? Not who cares, but who cares? Between the two, which plugin is your favorite, Glade or Febreze? Ha 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 ha. You know what, Mr. G? I do know that you've got my back. I appreciate the reciprocal back and forth that we've got going on here. You help me out, I help you out. This has been working out really well. For those that may not know, I've been taking care of Mr. G's server for the past, well, since just before last wipe, and I'll probably take care of it for this wipe. And then he's going to let me know when he's going to be back in the saddle. So it was so easy to set up my first server. I just wish other games were that easy. Yeah, absolutely. Excretion. That's a weird name, isn't it? You taught me everything. Thank you. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that you take some value out of my videos. I'm glad I was able to help. Everyone that you see here, all 47 of the people that are watching right now, of which only 23 people have liked this stream. But anyways, all of those people that you see watching this stream right now all have a similar experience. Five to 6 a.m. for me when Americans log off and Europeans are about to wake up. That's exactly, in fact, I think that's exactly what I do on my servers. I think I have a 5 a.m. start. Liberty Rust says around 10 players, and that's with our Discord community, 8,000 players. Yowza. Old Guy Gaming has become a silver level YouTube member. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. We do restarts every 12 hours, do the amount of plugins, but they are on the most downtime of the server. At 12 hours, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you had like a really high pop server and there was a lot of entities being created, then sure. But I think 12 hours is a little bit excessive. But hey, if that works and your community doesn't mind, so be it. I have 1 gig symmetrical fiber on my server. Hope that helps with the ping. I would damn well hope so. I have a 5X that wipes Tuesdays and Fridays. What should I do about forced wipe? That's just the nature of the beast. When you pick off days, you don't have a choice. Well, you do have a choice because you can technically, if you go through my video catalog, you can see that I teach people how to not wipe actually. So what you could do is on the Thursday when they force the update, you could do the update and then revert back. It's not really reverting back. Watch the video and you'll understand what I mean. But then you could carry that wipe through into Friday and then continue on with your regular Friday wipe. A little bit more hands-on. You'd never be able to automate that process, but that would be a good way to do it. Amino, welcome. You made it back. I saw you in here earlier and you haven't said anything for quite a while, so I assumed you were out doing that whole thing. The things that you do out there. Thinking of my friends out in Florida right now. Damn, are you guys getting your asses handed to you or what? What is it? Hurricane Helene or I forget now. Which hurricane is hitting Florida right now? Mr. G upgraded the membership from whatever it was to gold. Thank you so much, man. Mr. G. You should change your name on here so that it matches, so that people know who you are. During my time of attempting Rust server hosting, all my knowledge and tips came from you. Appreciate what you do for the community. I appreciate the community, what the community does for me. This is just me giving back to the numerous people over the years that have taught me everything that I know too. MW with a $5 super chat says, is it just me or do EU servers seemingly get away with faking pops? Newsflash for you, that's not just EU. You should see the tricky things that they do. And like I said, not just EU. You should see the tricky things that they do to get away with that. You can reload a wipe after the fact. Sort of. Not sort of. Just go watch the video. Here, in fact, I'll get you the video and I'll link it. How about that? How do you like them apples? If you guys can hear my cat wailing in the background, I apologize. He absolutely hates it when he can hear me talking and he can't come in and see who I'm talking to. He hates it. Like he'll try to tear down my door. All right, there you go. This is the video that talks about wipeless Rust. So you'd be able to do what we're talking about here. And Jason L has gifted 10 memberships. Thank you so much. So if you received a gifted membership from Jason L, be sure to throw some props up in chat to show some appreciation. I hope that's Jason L. It's either Jason L or Jason I. I can never tell. Jesus, come on, you guys. MW has gifted 20 memberships. Thank you so much. Same thing, if you received a membership from MW, be sure to thank them in chat. And of course, that fills up my feed full of a bunch of stuff. There we go. Did you make a visit to Karuza's server yet? I haven't done that yet. And he actually, hang on, let me check before I say that. No, it wasn't him. I do want to go check that out. I won't be doing it on live stream. Well, maybe I will eventually, but I'll go preview it first. Because I do want to check out those custom vehicles. Absolutely. Oh, the hurricane is over. Okay, good. That's good to know. I didn't know that. I kind of thought it was making landfall yesterday, and then you guys were kind of going to be in for 3 or 4 days, 2 or 3 days of hurricane business. You can't send DMs on YouTube. What he's saying is hit him up in Discord. And you can get him from mine or the Oxide Discord or the Rust Maps Disc. Is there a Rust Maps Disc? Yes, there's a Rust Maps Discord. You can get Mr. Blue just about anywhere. Yeah, drinks for everyone. Exactly, right? We should be just about done. So we're going to flip over here and I'm going to show y'all the heartbreaking news that I just found out today. Just before I went live. Je m'excuse. So, Old Guy Gaming says, I am Tux in Discord. So he's going to find Mr. Blue right now. So when you get a message from Tux, that's who that is. Yeah, exactly, right? Just going ham with the gifted subs or gifted memberships. Sorry. All right, let's jump into the game. So if y'all will remember, thanks to BMGJet went onto the server and found these really cool cave formations that I got really excited about. I actually made some short videos. I was like super duper excited about these new caves. And I knew I was going to go live today, and I wanted to check on that and make sure that everything is still going to be like it was. And guess what? It's not. So this is the island where BMGJet and I were oohing and awing over those caves. So for those that maybe don't remember, it was this island on the south side of the map. And guess what? They're gone. No, they didn't fill them in. They're just gone. And that is crushing for me, because I was so looking forward to that. So all those really cool cave formations are now non-existent. However, there is a cave formation that is still better than nothing. Does this it here? So this is one of them. So this is one of the cave formations that survived the cave apocalypse, we'll call it. Much smaller than it used to be. It still has entrance front and back, but it's totally protected on the sides and the top. All of those other really cool cave designs, they're all gone. I haven't been able to find a single one. Oh, look, there we go. So even this one, as you can see, I started building on this one. So similar, but still not as badass as that one that we found, or two that we found actually. They were right side by, right next to each other. And we've got another smaller version. It's just so disappointing. I was just crushed. We found a U-shaped one too. It's like a square U though. That one is still here somewhere. Here's a version of it. Oh no, that is it. So that U-shaped one that we found is still active, I guess. It's so... I was so disappointed. There's still Formation A, which is a smaller version. Yeah. 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 Jesus, MW, did you just gift another 20? Oh man, you did too. MW gifted another 20 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. You guys are entirely too generous. Oh, did I miss one? Oh, Jason L. Okay, there we go. MW. Yeah, there we go. Okay. You guys are so generous. I thank you so much. No, you're right. It's not a cave. You're right. It is a rock formation. None of them are really caves. But, yeah. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're going to... I don't know. I don't know what that means. There's another version of it there. But yeah, I was so disappointed. So disappointed in Cameron. And I was also noticing too, if you guys remember from the last stream, I was expecting areas like this to be filled in with something. Like we've got all these marks and stuff like that on the ground right there. Like looks like old rock bed, like rivers were running in there. I thought that was going to fill in with something else, but that hasn't changed yet. People complained Formation F was too strong against MLRS. So I had a thought about that because that is a valid point. The MLRS, it would not have any effect on those bases whatsoever. However, we have caves, like legitimate caves where you go down and you build a base at the bottom of cave, and MLRS is not an issue for those bases. So how is this any different? It's not like they broke any rules by doing it. Did I miss a comment? I'm going to go back as soon as these are done. I'm going to go scroll back up and through because it's important that I get everybody. So there was something else that I wanted to go see. I haven't seen this yet. So let's go check out the rivers. I'm almost afraid. Like, what else did they change? You know what I mean? So the rivers look untouched. We'll see what they did as the road crosses. So we still start out with just a trickle of water, which is cool. There was one that crosses a road. Okay, so we've got railroad tracks coming up here. MW has become a god level tier member on YouTube. Thank you so much. You guys are so incredibly generous. Yeah, it's I don't even know. We're at 40, 60, 70, 80 memberships, I think. So having a look where the rivers are crossing the road, that hasn't changed. It's still janky and basically no clips through the road. And then the other thing is the ravines or canyons that I want to go see. I thought there was a bigger canyon up over yonder. No. So we're going to check out the canyons and see what's happening there. See the bikes down the buck drop all the time, and defending is just insane rocks and F1 grenades. Where are we going here? There we go. So I wouldn't expect to see any changes done to the canyons except maybe some growth, which that does look to be the case. No, not really. Yeah, so I think when we were here last, these rock faces were all rock. I don't think there was any grass in them yet. Not that it really changes the effectiveness of the canyon, but and this is the canyon that killed my FPS. So yeah, canyons stayed the same. Oh, they got a 15% size reduction. Oh, they were huge. I'm not gonna lie. That's interesting. They're leaving rivers as is. Had to make a custom prefab and plugin that lets you go under them. Okay. Yeah, for those of you that aren't receiving all of these gifted memberships, it's because you have that feature turned off, and it's in your own Google settings or YouTube settings to allow people to gift you memberships or gift you things, period. Is this in regards to procedural maps or custom maps as well? Well, this is procedural, but it's going to affect custom maps. Okay. Oh, red letters of death. What the hell was that? I don't know what that is. NRE, object reference not set to an instance of an object. Yeah, it's still a bit framey. That's a good point. It still slowed me down. I didn't check what my FPS actually was, but I did notice it slowed right down. Which it could just be because it's rendering so many things, like because I'm no clipping. That could very well be it. I didn't hang around to find out. It killed my stream. My stream went down to like People were saying like half an FPS. How do people find out you can ride a bike down a bucket? Because people are always looking for exploits. Yeah, Whistler, exactly. That's, yeah. Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's true, BMGJet. So BMGJet says some countries you can't accept gifts because the government wants their cut of its value, and that is 100% true. 100%. So, at the end of the day, these kick-ass cave systems that I was so looking forward to is apparently not going to be a thing. Super, super unfortunate. I don't know. What do you guys think? I do have to go back. I don't want to miss anybody's. Okay, so there was the spam. Okay, you guys were challenging each other. Yeah, okay, so Mario said a while back maybe they do an update to those caves that they come back. That is possible, but here we are. What are we at here? So the 27th. So we're literally 7 days away from the update where all of this stuff is going to go live. KE Night, yes, it was on my last stream. So not last Friday, but the Friday before. Yeah, subject to change, exactly. That's if I had Shadow Frax's subject to change thing, I would use it, but that's his, so I can't. Yeah, the ones that are there are still decent size, but they're just not the cool ones that we saw last week or 2 weeks ago. Is there a way to automate restart, soft wipes, and hard wipes other than using batch scripting? Yes, there are several different ways of doing that, especially if you're on a pterodactyl panel, which IceHost is. So if you use their system, all that stuff is built in and freely accessible. Just gonna mute that for right now. You can also ride a horse on the ferries from one server to the next on the Nexus system. Yep. I love the design of the caves and the hanging. I think you mean stalagmite. Stalagmite or stalactite. Stalagmite hangs down from the ceiling. Stalactite comes up from the ground. Rust isn't about playing by the rules. It's learning all the glitches. I disagree. Yes, there are servers that does apply to. Not for the most part, though. Be nice to have more custom build locations. I really like building on flat ground, so yeah, I agree with that. I make custom maps and I pause the latest and wait what the rock formation size is and a rework our different size. I have Rust music going in the background, and I don't think I've ever done that before. There we go. Okay, got that one. It's good that they exist with Face Punch somewhere. Bring them back. Yeah, I'm sure they will. I think they were OP in their design, but again, it doesn't break any rules because we already had an existing cave system, so who cares if we have another cave system? You guys can hear my cat scratching at the door. Instead of subject to change, just say this might be bull. Well, that's valid. My Rust server, if you're on self-hosted Windows, okay. Yeah, there's the My Rust server tool. There's actually quite a few of them available out there. Has stuff like that built in, the auto wiping and stuff like that. I know the Rust to EU change has been dead topic for a while. What do you... Okay. I know the Rust to EU change has been a dead topic for a while, but how do you think Rust would perform and change being on the UE compared to Unity? UE, not EU. I'm assuming you're talking about game engine changes. So instead of being Unity, going to something else, like what? Unreal, something like that. It would be awesome. I would be standing here with my money in hand saying, please take my money and give me Rust 2 that's built on Unreal. Yes, in my so most servers do have a rule that if I catch you glitching or if an admin catches you glitching, they're just going to ban you. And it's not even going to be a conversation. It's just instant ban. You're out of here. You're never coming back. Because there's servers out there where you can go and do that stuff and not have any consequences for it. So why do you got to come to mine or, you know, somebody that's trying to get their server off the ground? Like, if you're going to go glitch, two things. You can easily create your own server and go glitch it to your heart's content. I don't care. Or you can actually go into servers that aren't monitored by any kind of people or anti-cheat or anything like that and go piss around on those servers. Yikes, that just finished. Just finished. Yeah, Unreal. Yeah, exactly, yep. Any ideas on how to make horses not get stuck on cliffs and jump? No. That's built into their mechanics and they will not jump over a rock. Yeah, Mr. Blue makes a really good point there. That's a really valid point, man. It will seriously change the modding community if Rust switched to Unreal. Super chat from MW for $5. How many entities do you think a Rust server could handle in Unreal compared to what we see today? Entity handling is dependent on hardware. And so while yes, it might increase on a Unreal server or an Unreal version of Rust, but it's still going to come down to hardware. Sorry, I just got to move that over. I know you guys can't see that, so that's okay. Because Unreal doesn't allow for that type of modding. Hello to deep modding. If switched to UE. Do you run server armor on your servers? I used to. I don't have enough of a population for it to matter anymore. I manually take care of all that stuff. I do use Archon or Arcan though. Arcan? Is that what it's called? Oh my goodness. My brain in the past like month is like, yeah, it's Arcan. Is like I'm dropping words, like things that I know, and I try to go grab the word, and it's like, nope, that word's just missing from your brain. Crazy. Kamikaze C4 horse, edge of a cliff into a base. Yeah, exactly. Unless Rust would add first-party modding support like Arc has, there will most likely be little to no modding. Yeah, fair point. KE Knight, yes, that is exactly the cave that we were talking about. Yes. The God Rock. Yeah, that's a fair description of it. Do you think they should still improve the ability to build into cliffs? I actually don't mind the, I guess, limitation that we've got on building on cliffs right now. I think that there's plenty of room where you shouldn't need to be up there. I don't know. The more monuments we get and the bigger they get, I mean, yeah, sure, we're losing real estate for sure. I don't know. That's a good point. I hadn't really thought about that. The Peachy Viking, welcome. Oh, you know, just going through stuff, crushing crushing the thing that I was looking forward to most on this next forced wipe, because they have reversed it. Need a ramped foundation. True. I think if the guys at Satisfactory started talking to the guys at Rust and they started working together, we could have some pretty cool things. Now, Mr. Blue, that you bring up a valid point there. So we kind of have three different conversations going on here right now, but we're talking about what would happen if Rust switched to Unity instead of switched to Unreal instead of being on Unity, and how that's going to affect modding, so plugins and stuff like that. I wonder. So, do you think back when Rust first became a thing, do you think that modding was even on their roadmap? Like, is that maybe why they chose Unity at that time? I feel like if a change were to happen, they'd use Source 2, not Unity 5. Oh, interesting. I don't know about that. So KE Knight is talking about recreating that God Rock and making it available on CodeFling as a free prefab. So keep an eye on CodeFling and see if that does get released. I don't know. Maybe it comes back. I don't know. I'm going to pay attention for the next couple of days heading into the forced wipe and see if they bring it back. Maybe it's just this map. I don't know, because I used the same seed as I did on the last stream, just for that reason, so that I could check it exactly the way it was before. Yeah, as far as gifted membership goes, it was either MW or Jason L. Yes, Peachy Viking, when I'm not playing Rust, I'm playing Satisfactory. And you can tell when I'm playing Satisfactory too, because my weekly content reduces, which is terrible. But it's true. Yes. Okay, so Old says, but if they didn't allow modded servers, made the accessibility for modding harder, they would lose a lot of modded server population. Yes, 100%. Because there are people out there that absolutely will not ever play vanilla Rust. If Rust would ever change engine, which is extremely unlikely, they would be using a custom engine probably based on Source 2. So again, another valid point. So the reason why that entire conversation came up is because Unity wanted to start charging basically a per use subscription to use Unity, and they rolled back that decision and basically negated the whole conversation. But that is what started the whole switching game engine conversation. A resize Formation A resize 1.6x and the Formation F rock, the God Rock. Where are you getting this information? You must be going through the commits. I highly doubt modding was even a thing they considered back then. It's most likely just ease of use compared to Source, which they used for Gmod. Fair. Wizla, is 1.0 update good? I've not played for years. Okay, so the 1.0 update, I've enjoyed it so far. I did start from scratch again and completely vanilla, so no mods whatsoever. So far, it's exactly the same. The things that have changed, I do like. The performance has increased. The graphics have increased. The fine tuning and polishing has increased a lot. But as far as the actual gameplay goes, as far as where I am on my what's the thing that you send things up to space in? The space elevator. As far as the levels that I'm at on my space elevator, I haven't reached any of the new features yet, so I can't really speak to it yet. It looks complicated though. Is Unity going to shut down? No, I doubt it. I prefer vanilla playing solo. I don't mind playing vanilla, but I do see the value in being in modded servers for sure. Peachy Viking, I was the 5th person to complete the game on fresh start from 1.0 release. Is there an end game? I'd love to host American Army. Host American Army Proving Ground on Ice Toast, but it needs an egg. I don't know what anything you just said is. Mr. G, there are people that make custom eggs for various different things. But I don't know what you're talking about. Sandbox is source 2. Okay. No mods satisfactory is a grind. All the good changes are all end of game, basically. Okay, fair enough. So they'll probably use the sandbox tools they built, but it's extremely unlikely they'd ever move Rust off of. I don't think so. I don't think they'll move off of Unity. Like, it was a really nice dream to talk about it at the time, like imagining what Rust would look like on Unreal, on the Unreal game engine, and yeah, it would be amazing. But there's like, it'd be a completely different game, and we could end up with something shitty like what console Rust is. Rust Legacy was better in its primal state atmosphere of fear. That yeah, that's fair. I actually kind of agree with that, which is why you see so many servers that have brought that fear factor back in various different ways. The gold buggy is the end game. Yeah, see, I'm nowhere near that. Would you say that you are satisfied with satisfactory? So I absolutely hate the game. Hate it. I will flip it on and I will punch myself in the face saying, why are you doing this to yourself? You know, in 8 hours, when you realize that you've now wasted 8 hours of your life playing this game, you're going to be pissed off at yourself because you even turned it on. And sure enough, 8 hours later, when I'm like ready for bed or whatever, it's like, how did you just burn an entire evening where you could have been sitting with your wife doing whatever, playing with your kitties or doing whatever, and you wasted it playing Satisfactory? Because it does something to your brain. It makes you forget that time is a thing, and you will turn around and realize how much time you've lost. So, all of that being said, yes, I'm satisfied with Satisfactory. Console Rust was a major mistake, in my opinion. I agree with that, except for the fact that it didn't cost them anything to do that. In fact, they probably made more money off of it than it ever cost them, because Face Punch didn't have to do anything. They basically granted another company the rights to use their names and their functionality and stuff like that, and allowed them to build a game from the ground up that looks like Rust 2 or Rust console, because it's not Rust. They did announce Rust 2 on Unreal back when this battle happened, but like I said, that battle got squashed pretty quickly when Unity reversed their decision. You probably wouldn't be able to find where that announcement happened, but it did happen at the time. You know, if there's a Discord giveaway bot that will announce a giveaway and send commands via Archon to deliver rewards in-game to players that won the Discord giveaway, aka ranks for modded servers. Do I know of one? No. But it's pretty easy to build one that does that. So if you all you got to do is find somebody that builds Discord bots, i.e. Amino, and he could probably make that happen. I can't make promises for him, but I'm sure he can do that. I just don't know if he's willing to do that. Time does not exist when playing Satisfactory. Exactly. Jingle Bop with the super chat. Hey man, you've helped me so much. Love you. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm glad I'm able to help. The night and day cycles get you. Yeah, because it's not. Yeah, it's dumb. Blazing Bandits. Hey there. How's it going? Deep talk here tonight. Yeah, a little bit. I started it out on a kind of a downer note because the God Rock that I see people calling it. I didn't know it had a name. The God Rock that I was all goo goo gaga over on my last live stream is no longer there. Facepunch has removed that cave system that I was so excited about. And yeah. So yeah, that's that. I hate it when it says message retracted and even I don't get to see what that message was. OBG. Yeah, no worries, Raven. I'm glad you're still here. Thanks for sticking it out with me. It's kind of funny, actually. Like, I've had this screen up, made by Amino, by the way, for more than I had the game on. They never really announced Rust 2. Pretty sure that was just Gary trying to be funny. I think that was Gary being mad, is what that was. They tweeted it or something, or was it? It was somewhere. I remember seeing it. My wife says I spend too much time. I only have 20k hours. Yeah. 20k hours on Rust or 20k hours on Satisfactory, because we're talking about both games here. Alone.design is in the house. Dude, you need to change your name. You can be Lone, because that's who you are. That's how I refer to you as, Lone. All Gary said was Rust 2 would definitely not be on Unity. Yeah, that could be it. There you go. Amino says V2 of advanced giveaways will support commands being auto sent to the server. There you go. So it's coming. Oh, batch, I have 48-hour prior to wipe. Take away teleport and shop to make it more interesting. That's cool. I didn't know you had that on there. Thinking about making a purge day right before forced wipe on my PvE server. Do you think it's worth it? Yes. And your players will love it. Abso-smurfly. Yeah, I don't know. KE Knight, I don't know what's going on there. I'm not sure who's in control of that. BMGJet is he's got his thumb on the commit, so I think he knows exactly what's going on there. Maybe it will come back. I'm not sure though. Yeah, I know, right? Lone, I know. I'm going through that exact situation right now. I know. I've been considering doing a separation because like everyone knows me as srtbull, but like really this stuff should just be Rust Admin Academy. And that way I don't want to give away too much, but that way if somebody else were to come in and, you know, start creating on this channel, it would all be under that same banner instead of having multiple identities. There's other YouTube channels and YouTube communities out there that do the opposite of what I'm talking about, where they'll have multiple people with multiple different identities all working on the same channel. I don't love that. Does loan give loans? No. Yeah, that's okay. So that's the thing, and that's why I bring that up. So the loan design that you see in chat right now was the previous owner of loan.design, the website where we were buying our plugins from, which has now switched hands. It's no longer his. I won't put on blast who owns it unless they want to. I don't know what that relationship, or like, I don't know what that should look like. But it has changed hands for sure. But it's still the same person. Like loan.design is still loan. What a bizarre ramble that just was. Holy. Just like how, oh, you're talking about your new versions of, yeah, gotcha. What percentage of players go to PvE servers? I don't know. I do know that a PvE server that is set up exactly like a PvP server with the exact same features, just with that one small change, the PvE will fill up faster. I kind of think of it as people that... No, I'm not going to say that. Okay, so Mr. Blue says it's fine. So Mr. Blue is now the owner of loan.design. Mr. Blue is also... I don't know that Oxide is owned, but Mr. Blue is also the head of Oxide. Owns Oxide, I guess. Yeah, Amino's got this whole V1, V2 situation going on. A lot of his plugins and a lot of his products are going into a V2, a version 2 situation. So yeah, a lot of cool updates coming out there. So keep an eye on CodeFling if you have any of those. Mr. Blue, go ahead and make an Oxide YouTube. No. There's somebody that already takes care of all of that. If Mr. Blue needs anything done or advertised or talked about on YouTube, this is your guy. No, I did. Alive, I did ask first. I indicated to Mr. Blue, asking if it was okay, and he said it was fine. Recently started a server. What's the best way to attract players? The best way to attract players is by attracting players. I know that sounds really stupid to say, but what I mean by that is you have to start building your community, and it starts with just one. That one turns into two. Those two will turn into four. It takes time and it's a grind, but you have to do it. Don't cheat. Don't buy. Don't pay to promote your server. Don't do anything that costs you any money. Do it the hardest way possible. And when you're done, you will have a solid community, a solid foundation, and then it will just gradually grow and grow and grow. Joseph, PvE is just better quality of life gameplay where you can try things out in Rust that you never get a shot at trying when PvP becomes too much of, to get anything done. I kind of agree with that, except I'm not a PvE guy. Amino does sleep. I assure you he does. Because whenever I need him in the middle of the night, he's not available. But he is busting his ass on all of these new features and new products that he's, not new products, but like updated products. And I'm excited about it. You guys should be too. There's going to be a month of videos that I can do just on Amino's products, I'm sure. That's kind of funny. Oxide YouTube would have people coming in asking about the Oxide mobile game. Sounded like you dislike PvE. I hate PvE. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it proudly and I'll say it loudly. I do not like PvE. I don't like anything that takes the game away from its intended purpose. And like there's nothing, not nothing. There's very few things that are better than that rush of adrenaline that you get when your inventory is loaded up full of loot and you know that somebody is tailing you and they're taking shots at you, and there's just nothing like it. And you, in a PvE scenario, you don't have any of that. Yeah, exactly. Just hate that you can't kill players on PvE servers. Exactly. It's just too safe. That is a perfect way of putting that. Absolutely. I help run a PvE server in the community that plays. Absolutely. The people that play PvE, they love PvE and they will not do anything else. I absolutely agree with that. I'm just not one of those people. I don't bash on them. I do help people set up PvE servers. You just won't ever see one branded under my name. I wonder how many people would actually play that game. It's crazy how many people have joining for that stuff. Really? Like you would think, I would hope that people that were looking for Oxide stuff, they know what Oxide is. I guess maybe not. Attract players with chloroform. That's terrible. Yeah, Lone, that's, I agree with that statement 100%. So Lone says, don't ever pay for server listing site ads. 0 out of 10 sites that are sites that are basically a scam. I don't ever pay to advertise your server, ever. I've said that before, and I'll say that again many, many times until people stop paying for those sites, because it's just a waste of money. It's a bad investment and it's a false promise. I cannot stress this to you enough. I know that at the end of the day, getting players into our servers is the ultimate goal. But trust me, if you do a good job, they'll come. It's like the old adage from the movie. If you build it, they will come. But you have to build it the right way. Which is what started me doing server audits. I want to be able to come into your server and tell you what needs to be fixed. Because there are things that players will come into your server, and this is probably happening to most of you right now. People are coming into your server and seeing that one little tiny detail that you missed, and they said, you know what, I'm out, and they'll never come back. Avoid Fiverr as well. Nobody on Fiverr can help you get your server populated. And nobody on Fiverr is going to be able to teach you what I teach you or what we teach you at Rust Admin Academy, because they just want your money. I don't want your money. I do all of this for free. My Discord, my website, my YouTube channel, all of this stuff is free to you. Don't pay people for anything except for hosting and plugins. I'm creating a service for is the Arcan plugin safe to use? I noticed it gives you false positive. Okay, the Arcan plugin needs to be configured right out of the box. It won't work very well for you because the plugin was written before the recoil changes, and now it triggers way too often, so you have to go in and make those changes. What are your thoughts on... Oop, I lost it. What are your thoughts on safe zone recyclers being nerfed? I get the concept. I don't love it, but I do understand it. People were feeling too confident standing at that recycler for however long. Yeah, I spent $1,000 sending out direct to door mailers via USPS. For what? I think you're being funny. I hope you're being funny. What did you send out direct to door mailers for? Not for your server. Can't possibly be for your server. can't possibly be for your server. Alive says, "Hey, bet you love my PVE. No matter you, no matter." Okay. If you're gonna pay to get players, buy some VPS game servers, buy some Rust accounts, leave them AFK on your servers. Yeah, that's a valid way. If you insist on spending money, do exactly what BMGJet just said. Nicodemus is in the house. Welcome, man. That's okay. Not sober enough to participate. That is okay, man. Let's keep Rust weird. I love it. Good for you, man. Good to see you. Fiverr basically sells you an active users into your Discord, then you have to add them. Yeah, no, Pay for more human users and not bots. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I feel like doing all the small things help. That is 100% true. All those tiny details that people may not even notice are there, they matter. Trust me, they matter. When it's fine-tuned, your community will appreciate it. I agree with that 100%. May just be an that okay. Justin Chris says, Mr. G, definitely. I may just be an admin, but I learned a lot from the owner of the server. Also tried my own, but went downhill. Damn it, where did it go? Downhill. Still want to keep up to date with the coding. That's how I got started, actually. I was an admin on a server, and that's where this all started. Was exactly your story right there. I play PvE because I work and I hate it when a game feels like a second job. Exactly. I agree with that 100%. I still won't do it, but that is also why I only play a 2x server, not vanilla. Project Nova says, nobody on Fiverr has a populated Rust server. I wouldn't trust someone who can't make a populated Rust server on their own. Exactly. And that should be their criteria. So like that should be part of their business case. So like if you want me to spend money with you, show me your server that you have populated right now, and then maybe I'll believe that you have some skills. But everybody knows that a large percentage of a populated server at whatever value, whether that's 25 players or 200 players, a large portion of that is luck. Don't kid yourself. I want a horizontal garage door too. I would love garage doors that did the dual thing. they can't see the small details, but they feel it in their hearts. Yeah, exactly. When I start my server, it never takes the server image. The link I'm using works, but it never shows any idea why this might be. So one thing I'll suggest is switching to a different image hosting. So I've noticed that I and a lot of other people have been using Imgur, and I've now switched to ImageBB because I was looking for a solution to that problem, and that seems to have fixed it. Apparently the rate limiting at Imgur and things like Dropbox and stuff like that is really, really low. So it doesn't take very many hits and you get rate limited. Oh, so okay, MW, you actually did that? You used UPS direct-to-door mailer website to target 18 to 30-year-olds in my area with an interest in gaming. I think it was around 5,000 houses for $1,000 and got 0 bites. I thought you were being funny. I didn't know that you actually did that. And no, if we had talked beforehand, I would have told you not to do that. Back a few years ago, max pops on servers were 128-ish. Then suddenly high pop servers were going to 250 and more started appearing. Now on the top servers, there's over 5,000 people. I agree. And actually, I take a little bit of responsibility for the number of servers versus the number of players. Because I'm now teaching hundreds, if not thousands of people how to set up servers, and then, which is diluting the player base. I know that I'm at fault for some of you not being able to populate. Yeah, make sure it's a .png photo link. .jpeg does work too, but I prefer PNG anyways. Rust is luck and luck is rust. I agree. Why is there so few double armored door skins? Oh, speaking of skins, I almost forgot. So I have the wonderful people over at Deviated Systems working on skins for me. And this is a collection of skins that we have so far that you all can have on your server if you want to promote Rust Admin Academy on your servers. You can load this skin group, the skin package, into your server if you want. In fact, here, I'll just give you if you want to load it into whatever skinning plugin that you have, you can. I thought they did a pretty good job with those skins, and I thought I'd share them with everybody. KE Knight, wait. Oh, okay, sorry. I missed the first one. Dude, help. Lencorp, I caution those types of conversations. I'd be open to looking at some of those concepts, but I caution spending money with any kind of a marketing system that is going to try and promote your server. Yeah. What's the benefit of having high pop? I see these servers and even server admins boasting about how many players they've got to buy VIP, but it just sounds so cringe to me. Is there another way to make money due to high pop? No, you need population. If you want to make money off of your server, you have to have population to do that. And population begets population, because most Rust players are looking for other Rust players to go mess around with. So the vast majority of Rust players aren't going to go into empty servers. So that's why I say population begets population. What are your thoughts on Rust servers in India? I'm all for it. I don't know what the providers are like in India, but there's absolutely no reason why there shouldn't be any. And if you have access to any kind of a server provider, easy. Oh, web developer. So I have my own web server that I host all of my images on, but it still does not load it. Interesting. That's frustrating. Not a PC, but yes, a home server. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't have an answer for you. I can look into it though, and I know how to get you. I'll see what I can find out. The server I help with is PvE 100x, lots of stuff to do, but always get someone will complain. Comes with the nature of the beast. I agree 100% with that. A lone design skin on there? Do I? Oh, he grabbed, yeah, that is absolutely that's funny. He grabbed an image off of Lone. That's funny. I'll have to let him know that. High Pop makes money with VIP and gambling ads on their server. Yeah, I know. Come to the conclusion that only guaranteed way to populate a Rust server is to become a polygamist and have tons of kids. I guess that's a very expensive way of going. George K, welcome. How's it going? Yeah, that's why you have these top 10 servers who just copy and paste the same server. Yep. Yep. That's exactly what happened. They find a magic combination of things that are successful, and then they just pop out another 5 servers that are exactly the same with just tiny little differences. No, Lencorp, I know what you're talking about. I understood that you were making the difference there. Um, if you have the ability to partner with a content creator to brand server, yeah, I agree to a certain extent. I agree with what you're saying. Who has a problem hosting images? No, it's not that he has a problem hosting images. It's that when he loads into his server, his header image isn't showing up for him, even though it should. And like I've experienced that myself, but it was when I had my header image hosted at Imgur. I've now moved it to ImageBB, and I no longer have that. I no longer have that issue. Home hosted servers tend to suffer from low upload speed, and typically that's because most home systems will have X amount of down speed and a fraction of that as up speed. So yeah. I think Nick uses a locally hosted server, I think is what he said. George says, I watch a lot of your videos, but this is my first time on stream. Hey, cool. I'm happy to have you. It's kind of like an opportunity where people can just kind of ask whatever they want to ask. And if I have the answer, then of course I'll give it. It's more like just I don't know, kind of a chat, I guess. Header image does have size and resolution restrictions. That's true. I'm assuming, because of who Nick is, though, I'm assuming that is an old image that has been used for quite some time. And that probably, none of that changed, unless you changed your image, I guess. I was making an assumption there, because I know who you are. Some image hosting websites don't allow the image to be linked to. That's true, except for ImageBB and Imgur. That is exactly what they're designed for, is linked, for linking. What we should all do is join the Rust Admin Academy Discord and have a channel where server admins take turns to pop their servers together, and I'll help you build your server, then you help join mine, and then you join mine. And we have done a similar concept to that. I was doing live streams where we'd all pile into somebody's server and see what happens. And some of them got some traction with that. But I didn't continue doing that. Excuse me. When do you do server audits, and can I get on the list? I do server audits the Friday after the forced wipe. So it will be next Friday. And you can go do audits.rustadminacademy.com and fill out that form there, and it will put your server on the list. And then I will do a random draw, and hopefully you get drawn. Who is Nick? If Nick wants to say who Nick is, he certainly can. I don't mind you mentioning your server community, your Rust community on here, so that everyone knows who you are. Yeah, see, nobody knows what RM is. Wait, do we have 2 Nicks? Oh, look, we have 2 Nicks. Son of a bitch. I wasn't looking at the icons next to your names. We have 2 Nicks. God damn it. Okay, so Justin, I have to ask. So the amount of money that you would invest into a business internet system, if it were just going to be for Rust, that expense you could easily transfer that into a hosting service for probably less money overall, and it takes all of the wear and tear off of your home network. I don't know, man. Zfogo. Been watching your videos recently, liked all of them, but I have a question. How do I add a panel to Welcome Controller? It depends on what type of panel you want to add. If you're talking about on the left-hand side of the screen there, though, it's, in fact, I think I do it on the video. I show you how to add different sections, which then, of course, you can click on the left-hand side and it brings it up in the center. It's all done in the configuration file, though. It's super easy. It's really just a matter of like basically copying and pasting an existing section into a new section. But V2 is probably going to make that a whole hell of a lot easier. If you're using IceHost or GSK, you can host your header image with them, even Shockbyte. Yeah, a lot of hosting sites are allowing that. That's true. A video going over some methods of organic server growth for people would be quite beneficial. True. That is true. Let's connect on that. I actually like that idea. Two nicks doesn't make a right. Yeah. That's a really good idea, Lone. Let's connect on that. Okay, sounds good. Junior Evie, JRIVI. Sounds good. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. Enjoy your dinner. Yeah, Justin, don't do it. I run a hosting service. It was expensive. Yeah. It would be for 5M, Minecraft, and Rust. I have a lot of friends that are interested in the business idea. I just need to get the specifics to not hurt me. Yeah. Yeah. You're heading down a path that many have done before. Some have been successful and some have paid dearly. So, with the infrastructure that's in place, it's not like I'm saying don't try it. I'm saying be careful with the amount of money that you're going to spend. Is Rust Admin's web app useful? Yes. If you don't have direct access to the Archon or easy access to the Archon, yes. If you were with if you were with IceHost, you have direct access to the Archon, though. There's no need for Rust Admin. A Rust partner would do 50-50 on the cost. Okay, cool. You went from a regular welcome controller to a full customized welcome controller. I'm trying to add stats on the left-hand side. Okay, so if you're using stats controller, you just trigger that in the configuration file. So there's a section in the config that says which add-on plugins are you using. You just trigger that. You put that in there that you're using the stats controller, and then it'll add it in there. We can connect in Discord, or if you want to hit up Amino. It's really super easy to do. Yeah, there's people out there that love Rust Admin. I used to use it back in the day. I just don't find a use for it anymore. Old Bitches Gaming. Sounds good. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you on the next one for sure. Larry Bretthauer. Welcome. How's it going? When are you going to have a look at my 8K sized map? Do I have access to your 8K sized map? I'll bet you I don't. I'm looking right now. And if I get there before you do. Probably already granted me access to it, didn't you? Because you knew I'd be looking. How can I do this quickly? so that I can get there before you. Come on. I can't find it. I'll look at it. I'll load it right now. I won't, but I would do that for sure. Not be a reseller. See, and I think reselling is the way to go. Like, think about guys like GSK. They like GSK is a multi-million-dollar platform now. And they started out small. They started out with one client. Took me 2 months to get cameras for my job just to justify the cost. Okay. No, you can't configure things on Rust admin. It's basically just an Archon. Yeah, 8K maps. Back in the day, we used to be able to do a procedurally generated 8K map. There wasn't very many of them out there, but you could do it. Just hang on alive. I'm going to come back to that. But they recently got rid of all of those really large maps. They're super fun, but you like, and this is going back to before we had like mini choppers and stuff like there was no player and no horses, and like we had to hike across 8K. So yeah, that's going back a couple of days. Alive, I would love to be able to stream all the time for people all the way around the world, because I know that I have people in the EU across the pond from me, both directions, that want to see what I'm doing. Unfortunately, that's just not how life works. Yeah. Having your own local servers is a lot of work. I do not recommend it just for gaming unless making money. I use mine to run my Rust server because I use it for work and have the extra bandwidth. That's fair. A lot of people will have some sort of a server system set up in their house, whether that's for media or for gaming or even just for music or whatever. A lot of people will have some sort of a server system in their house. I don't know that it's mainstream yet, but it will be eventually. Legacy was a 20K map. Experimental Rust, they never went over 6K. That's not true, man. That's not true. I don't know that it was 8K, but I'm sure it was bigger than 6. Maybe you're right, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe it was 6K, and it felt huge because at the time, I think the default was 4K. So yeah, I'm gonna retract that. I think you're right. I think it was 6K. I resell domains and web hosting, and it's tough. And you have a home server to do that? What's alive? What's your name in DM or in Discord so that I know what I'm looking at? If I'm missing messages in Discord, you guys got to let me know, because I do. Sometimes I do. William Long says, quick question. I use bot respawn and was wondering if there's a way to find out the in-game NPC setting. Oh, so you can replicate that? I'm sure there is, but I don't know how. That's a great question, actually. You know who would be an awesome person to ask that of? Stina Maru. Because I guarantee you, if there's a way of doing what you're asking for, Stina Maru's going to know it. Is there a UI to just type bot respawn and it should pop up? Yeah. That's not what he's asking, though. No. He wants to be able to replicate like vanilla NPC stats, speeds, and stuff like that. Who is Houston and where's the problem? The problem is this, Whispers. I'm going to show you. Were you on my last live stream? I'm going to go through this just one last time here before we call it a day, because what are we at here? Oh yeah, this is perfect. This is perfect timing. So if you were on my last live stream, you'll remember that BMGJet found this island and it had three really cool rock formations that created two fantastic building caves. And I was really excited about it, that it was going to be coming during the wipe in October. However, I wiped this server today in preparation for this video to see what had changed, and all of those really cool rock formations are gone from where we found them. So I went searching around the map to see if they had just moved locations, and nope, they're just gone. That whole system is just gone. BMGJet says, oh yeah, there you go. Perfect. The perfect timing right there. The F for formation. Yeah. Formation F, the God Rock, has been removed. Which is super unfortunate, and I'm really upset about it. It's at 1:34 on your last live stream. Perfect. Well, and I did a standalone video for it too, because I was so excited about it. You could run a 20K still laggy. I don't know that I have the resources for 20K, not gonna lie. I would try it. Yeah, exactly. It's so sad. So sad. I was so disappointed. So disappointed. But it appears like not much else has changed yet. I think BMGJet has been scrolling through the commits to see what else has been done. The canyons are a little bit smaller than they used to be. The canyons are a little bit smaller than they used to be, which is, I'm okay with that because they were really large before, but just about nothing else has changed. You send me a DM. Okay, perfect. I will check on that when I'm done. When I'm done streaming. Been watching your content for a bit now. I'm curious, what is your background and how do you get it? How did you get to be the Rust expert? I am the furthest thing from the Rust expert. What I've done here is I've created a community where I have direct access to plugin developers, modding platform developers. Like I have Mr. Blue, which is the maintainer and creator of Oxide, and I have Death and his team, which is the whole carbon side of things. I have all of these people, like, right at a moment's notice. I can message them at any given time, which is fantastic for me and fantastic for you, because if you guys run into problems, I can usually have them solved pretty quickly, or at least advise for a solution. But my story is very, very similar to a lot of Rust admins, in that I went to a server one day, I was playing around with it, had some fun, got to know the admin. He says, hey, do you want to moderate my server? So I came in, I started moderating for him, and then he said, you know what, you're pretty good at this. Here, I'm going to give you full admin access. And I was like, you know what, this is pretty cool. Let me see what I can do and create my own server on his dedicated machine. And that was fun, and it just gradually grew and grew and grew. And then there was a period where, and I don't really know why or how it happened, but there was a period of time when people were coming to me and asking me questions, and it seemed like they were asking me the same questions. Multiple people were asking the same questions many times. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to make a video that covers this, so that when another person comes to me and asks the same question, I can just give them this video. And then somebody said, why aren't you putting these videos on YouTube and helping more people all at once? And I said, you know what, that's a fantastic idea. Rust Admin Academy was born, and the rest is history. Can we get bigger than 6K? BMGJet has an 8K map. which I'm going to check into as soon as I'm done on this live. And I'm going to load it on this server and see what happens. Client has hard physics limit at 10K when you fall through the ground. Oh, you fall through the ground above that. Okay, there you go. So it won't even generate the physics. So like there'd be no land. If you went higher than 10K, that's interesting. Another question. I run the only hardcore server in Australia now. Is there a way I can get to the quests to go back into the game without a map? Well, not the vanilla quests, no. You might be able to do a plugin quest, a quest plugin, and have a similar type of thing set up. Where you still didn't have access to the map. Would you speculate on what you believe the top 3 ways of organic server discovery players are actually using these days? Great question. Top 3 ways of organic server growth. I'm going to have to come back to you on that in order to pick just 3. When are you starting Satisfactory Admin Academy? I'm not. I shouldn't, I should say. I shouldn't do that. Even as it stands right now, the amount of time that I have to invest in what I'm doing here, if I were to add another, without bringing somebody else on, like you need to remember, I'm solo. I'm one guy. I do all my editing, all my graphics, all my thumbnails. I do everything. I'm the only person that does this. If I were to bring somebody else on, then sure, I might look into expanding and stuff like that. But my wife would leave me if I added more. If I started doing more games or more projects, World update stuff is on the main stage now. Good. Okay, I am going to shut down. No, so all caves, no, some of the cave systems are still going to be in play. I don't know what they're going to look like come next Thursday, but the God Rock, as it's being called, is not there and probably won't be there next week. But the other cave systems will be there. So that's good. Okay, so I have to go over a little bit of homework here for you guys. Oops. Damn it. Oh, of course. Sorry, just bear with me here while I log this in like a doof. Before I do, though, I just want to say this is the first time this has ever happened. So we have 55 concurrent viewers and 51 likes. Thank you so much for that. If you haven't liked this video yet, if you want to take it all the way up to the 55, that would be fantastic. But we've never had that close of a ratio before. So I do love that. Just vamping here. Just give me 1 second. I'm just loading this up here right now. And go. And go. Sounds like a win-win situation than doing more work. Well, depending on what you were referring to there. I second the Satisfactory Admin Academy. I'm also down to assist where I'm able. Oh, thank you. You guys are great. Hi, Karuza. Welcome, man. I would love to do something like that. I just hadn't really considered it before. And I think you're the first person that has asked for that. So we had a couple of really generous super chats, which I super appreciate. MW has gifted, I think 40 gifted memberships. Is that right? So we did 40. Yeah. Okay. So there we go. And Jason L has also gifted 40 memberships. Nope. More than that. 50. I'm sorry. Let's do this math. So we've got 20, 40, 60 gifted memberships from MW, 60 gifted memberships, and 20 from, no, sorry, 10, 20, 30 from Jason L. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. And Old Guy Gaming became a silver member. Mr. G became a rookie member and then later upgraded to gold level membership. I thank you guys so much for the support. I absolutely appreciate every single one of you. And just the thumbs up on the video is all I ever ask for. And anybody that goes over and above that is just, I love it. I appreciate it. I thank you guys so much. So I want everyone to have a really great weekend. If you're using a custom map and we're heading into next wipe, make sure your map developer is making the changes that are going to be required for next Thursday so that you don't run into any issues, because ProcGen is completely changing, as I've been discussing for a couple of weeks now. What else? I guess the next live stream is going to be our next server audit. So if you haven't yet, make sure you get your form submitted to audits.rustadminacademy.com and get your server on there on the list for the audits. And yeah, have a great weekend. Thank you all so much for joining in, and I'll see you next Friday. I love it. I appreciate it. I thank you guys so much. So I want everyone to have a really great weekend. If you're using a custom map and we're heading into next wipe, make sure your map developer is making the changes that are going to be required for next Thursday so that you don't run into any issues, because ProcGen is completely changing, as I've been discussing for a couple of weeks now. What else? I guess the next live stream is going to be our next server audit. So if you haven't yet, make sure you get your form submitted to audits.rustadminacademy.com and get your server on there on the list for the audits. And yeah, have a great weekend. Thank you all so much for joining in, and I'll see you next Friday.